Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and I'm back with a little bit more of Voidtrain because I'm about 7 hours in now, and I've unlocked some stuff, like this grappling hook, which you can use for scooping stuff up. But I've reached the point where I have unlocked the ability to build a steam locomotive on the front of my train in order to turn it into an actual train instead of just a really long platform. So that's what we're going to be doing today, hopefully at the next depot. I think I have all the materials ready. But first, we actually have a witch island here, so I wanted to show those as well because those are the main things so far to do in the void aside from following just the train path, as we actually have to grapple our way out into the mist. Also, you can see it's nighttime, or the equivalent in the void. It seems like the day-night cycle takes multiple transitions before it actually changes. So, you know, you'll go through multiple depots before it'll start to become daylight again, and I don't think it changes in real time. But yeah, so to get out there, we're going to need to build some throwing hoops from the workbench. Also, I think we're going to have a bit of a problem organizing this stuff, because basically the game has said that the steam locomotive is going to take up this whole front car, which has been upgraded to be 4 platforms long. But this is also currently the maximum size I can have for my train. So I can't build any more platforms or upgrade any of the existing ones further than this until I build that steam locomotive, because I guess the stronger engine you have, the bigger train you can have. So I'm going to probably have to shove everything onto this last platform. And I don't think it's going to fit. But, I mean, this stuff we can all move. This is just, like, chunks of ice and chunks of coal that I can build a machine to grind down. I can build one of these drillers, but I haven't been focusing on that, so I've just been kind of storing them here, because you can only carry one of these in your inventory at a time, which you couldn't even do unless you built a backpack. I was disappointed to find the backpack does not actually increase your inventory size. I still have the same inventory size as when I started. But I'm hoping eventually that will change, as well as the number of slots in the chests, because, you know, we still have those 2 extra slots that are locked off. Also, these are Rafflimos. You find some of these in the depots, and as far as I can tell, the only purpose of them is you get mushrooms from chests that you get from these witch islands, and when you give them one, they will spit out some blueprints, usually, I guess, decorative stuff, like walls for your train. So that's all they do. You can only have one of them per train platform, which is why I have one in the front and one over here, and then I have a third one in a cage that I can't do anything with until I can build another one of these little stands for them, which you, again, can only have one per car, so I only got 2 cars right now. Okay, so we're gonna need iron. Oh, actually, never mind. I already built the hoops ahead of time. Yeah, so these little lights here, anytime you see these, it means there's a witch island off in generally that direction. You can kind of follow them. One of them I got kind of lost, and I just ended up in really dense fog, and doing this at night is going to be a little harder. But any of these floating rocks that have these, you know, spiral grooves on them like that, you can throw a ring into, and then basically you unhook yourself from your train, and you hook yourself to that grapple point. Unfortunately, it seems like you can throw these a little farther than you can actually grapple, so I've had a few places where I was like, oh shit, am I just stuck here because I don't have any more rings? So throw that out there. I should have actually jumped off first, because that would have given us a wider range, but I built 15, which should be enough. So like here, I'm kind of feeling like I'm just at the edge of my range, but we'll throw one there. See, this one is slightly out of range. I feel like I've gotten lucky with these, because usually if you jam forward and grapple enough, you'll tend to just get it. Oh, there's actually a mushroom here. So these things are natural grapple points. To me, they just look like some kind of horrible donut, you know, with the cream on top, but with spikes coming out of it. But yeah, we can use that and go here. The first one of these I went to did not have any of those except for on the island itself, but yeah, these are how you actually mount to the island so you can explore it. Though as we'll see, they're not really quite islands per se. They're kind of just larger rocks that are floating in the void. Alright, so I think we got one coming up here. So like I mentioned, the main thing to find on these islands is the witch island chests. And you actually can't open those here. You have to plop them down like those resources we had back there, and then If you remember, if you saw the first video, there's like an altar-looking thing in the depot, and you can plop them on there, and they will pop open and spit out a bunch of loot, including some mushrooms to feed to your Rofflimos. Alright, so here's our Witch Island. You know you've gotten there when you start to see these red plants all over the place. Now, it seems like you can get multiple chests from these. The last one I went to had 2. So I had to go here, grab it, go back to the thing, because you can only carry one, and then come back and get the other one. But every single one requires you to solve a puzzle of some sort in order to obtain it. They've been pretty simple so far. I'm just trying to see if there's anywhere... I don't really want to waste a ring just to go right here, but I might have to. Okay, there's a better one up there. So yeah, this is seemingly the only reason to leave the train path, because there isn't really anywhere else where rocks extend out into the void like this, is that I've seen. But, you know, that could be a later thing. Also, you can winch to these through this stuff, and you'll just plow right through it. Wish we had a flashlight. Organics. I haven't really found much in the way of useful resources out here otherwise. You know, you'll find like 1 or 2 things sometimes in a house, but that's about it. Alright, so we gotta figure out which one of these houses has a puzzle. It's usually on the very end, like, you know, sticking out by itself. So it could be that one over there, or it could be this one. You'll know when you see it, though, because the actual chest is contained inside a giant orb. I'm not seeing it from here. I think we're gonna have to go a bit further. Oh, actually, it keeps going that way. Let's see, can we see the donut from here? I think every house island has a donut on it somewhere. That one might be behind the wall, so I just can't actually get a line of sight on it. But yeah, I think these are pretty cool looking. I mean, you can't tell as much at night. The game looks a lot better during the day, because at night everything is very muted. But otherwise, this area is very colorful normally. See, times like that where you can just barely catch it on the end of your grapple. Okay, so there's the treasure chest. Let's get over there and see what kind of puzzle it is. Generally, it's a puzzle whose clues or interaction points are inside the houses around it. Okay, this one looks like a 3-symbol puzzle. So if we go over to that ghost Rofflimo down there, Rofflimo. Basically just saying it is Rafflemau. Rofflimo. But yeah, if we go down there, he will make a series of sounds, and those sounds are the clues of which little buttons we need to shoot. Which will be located in the environment around it. This thing looks like a big old moss ball, but I guess it's supposed to be a rock. Okay, so we got laughing. Laughing. I don't know what the fuck the last one was, but we got like lady laughing with swords, then just laughing, and then something small and squeaky. So those should be in one of these houses. Okay, what do we got here? We've got a guy with a wheel, or we've got a silly dragon. And I'm gonna guess the silly dragon was the last sound. No, that's actually the first one. I'm not sure. Neither of these seem to be lady laughing and then pulling out a swing, but this man with a wheel in his hand might be it. First we gotta find all the buttons, though. They're not necessarily in the houses. Sometimes they can be on the sides of the houses. Sometimes they can be on a tree, but they're always within this circle of islands around the chest. So you don't have to, like, backtrack a bunch to try to find them. Oh, actually, there's one right there. So that one's a little farther away. Okay, what do we got here? We got a wizard or a witch, and we've got a guy with an axe. I guess the second one would be witch because it was kind of an evilly laugh. Okay, yep, that's the second one. When we get them right, they turn yellow, so we'll have to wait until we find the third one to know if we're on the right track, and then we start switching them. So there should be one over on this island somewhere. I don't think it's in the house. Oh, there we go. Well, we got sad face and we got happy face, so it's probably happy face. Yep, we got it right. Now we just gotta go and claim our treasure. And then we can get back to the business of train building. This looks like just a basic chest. I've also found like a metal-looking one that I assume has better loot in it. Oh. I didn't realize this one was telling a story. I haven't seen one like that before. Usually it's just one symbol on each. And for like all of the other ones I've found like that, the second answer was always frog. Which is very easy to guess because it just makes a ribbit sound. Alright, now we gotta make our way back to the train. How did I get across this gap? I think I was pushing it with this one, right? Make it easy, we still got 6 rings left. So I don't think there's any other treasure out here. I mean, we could check over behind this island, see if there's another one past that. But otherwise, we're pretty much done here. So they don't really add too much to the game right now. I feel like, though, as we make story progress, whatever that really means, this stuff becomes more complicated. Though right now it says, reach the next depot, but it said that, and I've passed through 2 depots and it still said the same thing. So I don't know if that's waiting for me to build the steam engine before it'll actually progress, or if eventually I'll just come upon the next type of depot. But yeah, I already have all the materials built for the steam locomotive, so we should be able to build it fairly easily and then get to test it out. Oh, that's so annoying when it's just out of reach. Wait, was there a... This one gets a little farther out. Thankfully, you don't have to hit exactly where it is. Pretty much just winch to the right, rock. And then there's another one there. It is also the Christmas update right now, so you'll see probably some baubles and candy canes and shit floating off in the distance. I mentioned in the first video there's some pillars that I thought looked like ribs. Turns out there is actually ribs, and they look very distinctly like ribs and not pillars. Giant bones in the giant void. I still haven't seen that thing that makes the whale sounds off in the distance. I've like caught glimpses of it, but never actually seen it get close. Is that a shark? I think I didn't actually kill this shark. It like spawned. I don't know what it's doing. It's trying to attack my train, I think. But it's too high up. It spawned in this world. I shot it a bunch, and then it just went away. It didn't actually let me finish it. Oh yeah, it's even still damaged. But they have antlers and a red nose right now. Nope, that's not gonna help me. Still haven't got a better weapon. Apparently, rather than actually crafting a better weapon, you have to find a bunch of modules from the Nazi soldiers, because some of the depots do actually have living Nazi soldiers in them. who can drop gun parts, and you have to assemble a gun out of those. And I don't think I have enough parts for that. I'm really hoping this shark drops some fat. Fat has been a resource that I've had a lot of trouble with because you need it to make a lot of the parts for advanced materials, but the only way to get fat is to kill things. And sometimes from chests. Okay, looks like we got some fat. Grab. Oh, there we go. I could have used my grappling hook, I just realized. This thing has been so useful. I just unlocked it like 2 stops back, and now I no longer have to swim up and grab everything. I can just kind of float above my train and shoot anything that I go by. Okay, let's get on the rails. Get moving. I think we're probably more than halfway across this current bit of void, so it shouldn't take us too long to get to the depot. I just figured that rather than uninstalling the game right after doing the video, I would spend some time with it so I get an idea of how it plays and how it progresses, and then come back to it later in later updates. It seems pretty polished right now. There's maybe not the most content, but what's here is decently enjoyable, if a bit grindy. It took me a long time to get to the point where I could get this grappling hook. It's like 4 hours of just grabbing materials with my hands. Yeah, there's a big old bobble. Alright. Now, I think I have enough metal, but I'm gonna grab any that we see, just in case. And any wood. Those are like the 2 most important resources. I'm hoping I can upgrade the range on this grappling hook, because the description says that it's kind of short range right now, which makes it sound like you can get a better one. Okay, let's speed up too. Last time I'll have to use this damn trolley handle. All these other little islands don't seem to serve a purpose, and you cannot reach them. There's usually not anything close enough, and there's no donuts on them, even if you do get close enough. They're just there for decoration. I'm not sure why there's so many structures in the void, though. So many pieces of structures. There was also one segment of void that had giant arrows just floating in the air. Like massive godly arrows. Which I assume belong to one of the Norse gods, since this seems to be a Norse place. And it makes sense, I guess, that the Nazis invaded the Void, since they're all about, you know, Norse mythology. Alright, the music's picking up, so we are approaching the depot. You should be able to see the big streamers in a moment. Let's see how much more convenient that is than when I was doing in the first impressions video. You don't even have to keep looking at it. Once you've correctly fired at where it is, it will reel in behind you. Yep, there's the gate up ahead. Just gonna eat that. So yeah, I'm hoping I have enough material, because when I first got to a depot where I could actually build a new segment of train, I was like 1 material short of being able to build it, because I didn't realize I would need to save up fat. So I had to leave without building anything. And that's pretty anticlimactic. I think this is as fast as we can go on approach. Alright, well, as we beam into the depot, let's cook up a steak. Oh yeah, also, the train seems to be too long. The door closes again before you can get the whole thing through. So this one might have soldiers in it. Usually you'll know because music will kick in when you stop. And also people will be shooting at you. Yo, the music's kind of going, but no one's shooting at me, so I think this one's abandoned. Okay. So, these terminals that all of these depots seem to have now are where you upgrade and change your train. So, in order to build the steam engine, I have to disassemble the trolley handle, because we're only allowed to have one type of engine. Not enough resources. Oh yeah, I need to make 2 more of those pushers. So that's one of my problems, because I only have 1 fat. So I think I might not have enough right now, and I'm hoping that either the chest I picked up or one of the resource chests around here will have enough. Because again, fat only comes from living things, and there's no guarantee that there's living things around. Though I did discover that those little flocks of creatures that you see flying around the void, you can kill those and they potentially will drop organic materials like leather and meat and grease, or not grease, fat. Okay, any chemicals? So yeah, my whole train is very disorganized right now. So I don't know what's in what chest. I definitely have a lot of chemicals stored though. Also, don't remember picking this ice up, but I'm just going to eat it to get it out of my inventory. So, let's make some more grease. And now we just need to find 1 fat somewhere. Also going to get rid of some of this metal. I need 1 bar. Okay, let's start grabbing stuff. There's also these. Some of the Nazis will drop tokens, and those tokens you just shove in here and you'll get gun parts as well. So we might have to use these things, which are temporary storage that you can use only while you're in the depot. I think? I don't know. Maybe these are shared across all depots, but the way it's worded, it sounds like anything you leave in there will just be gone for good. So it's just there so you can, like, move stuff around. Come on, fat. That one had raw meat in it. Almost what I need, but not quite. Alright, let's pop our chest on here, I guess. This might have some fat in it. Yep. 2 fat. Okay, we should have enough now to build our steam loco. So. Take that in fat, grab that. I don't have more grease, do I? No, I thought I had 1 more. And also, when you're building train parts, you don't actually have to have it in your inventory, which is good because some of them take a lot. It will take from all of the chests on your train. Shove some of this back in there. I'm gonna eat this. Not that, though. And then I'm gonna cook more to get rid of them. I mean, there's not really anything else I can do with them, and they don't go bad, so I could just cook them and leave them in a chest somewhere. Okay, so we got our grease. Now we just need to make 2 forcers, which requires 2 iron ingots, and I guess I just deposited them all. I'm also hoping that you don't need exclusively coal to make this steam locomotive go, because I do have coal, but I don't have a way to break it down yet. So, it's possible we're not going anywhere. Okay. Now, my hope is that the steam locomotive does not take up the entire platform, that you can still have stuff next to it, so that I don't have to move everything. But I am going to remove the horn, because I think it's also in the way. Okay. Build a module. Okay, so it doesn't take up the whole thing. It also seems to be off-center. Okay, there we go. I didn't realize I could fly around in this view. Yeah, so it looks like it leaves 1 row to the sides. Maybe I'll leave that much space. It looks like the only thing that's in the way is my research table. Just gotta shift that over. So we pull out our hammer. Rotate this sucker. I'll just stick it back here, because then it's completely out of the way. So that's good. I thought this was going to be way more of a pain in the ass, and I was going to have to Tetris shuffle all this shit around to get this thing to fit. Alright. I'm not also sure what exactly the front part is. I think that means it can't have anything in front of it. It might make me move everything, though. It looks like it doesn't want to fit. I also like how you can see all of the resources in the depot and also enemies if there are any. So yeah, I think we need to have it like this with 2 empty spaces in front of it. Actually, that this Roflimo stand might actually be what's in the way now. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to move to the back of the train. But I paid good money for these seats. He doesn't give a shit. He's not a picky passenger. He's just glad to not be in a cage like that. Alright. Try this again. Build a module. Put the module in the middle. I don't actually know if it has to, like, snap into that middle part. Platform. Instructions. No, I guess nothing actually goes in those slots yet. Okay, so looks like it is going to be pickier than I thought. I hate how you can't move these things. Like, it doesn't seem like I can actually move them forward. They have specific slots that they go to. I don't know, if I disassemble them, they just go away completely. We're gonna make this work. It's probably the name of the video, so it has to be completed. Yeah, okay, it looks like the smelter is now in the way. Get this right eventually. Forgot that this was sticking out too. Okay, let's squish this here. Like, once I have this thing built, then I can worry about rearranging everything, because then I can start expanding my back car to start moving this stuff there. No, it still doesn't want to go. I wonder if I could just put it off to the side. You know, like off-center. Now, I don't really see what the problem is here, but it looks like it's not happy with the layout still. Because it should go right about there. Alright, now I'm just going to move everything. We say fuck it. We're going to shove everything out of the way. Everybody get off my train. I'm glad you can just drop this stuff wherever. It doesn't have to, like, snap into where you can place it. I don't even think I need all these chunks of ice because they just make water. And so far, water has been very abundant because there's ice everywhere. But maybe I need these to manage the train part. Definitely don't want to get rid of the coal, though, because I think that'll be important. And I'm just moving all this stuff so that I can shove the everything, basically, back here. Unfortunately, the Roflimo I can't put back here. Whatever, it's not in the way. Most of this stuff, I think, is fine. Unlike the back segment. Though the game very specifically tells you that you need 4 cars in order to build, or 4 platforms in order to build the engine, even though it doesn't seem to be 4 platforms long. Also, this cost me wood to move these for some reason. I think that's a little silly. Since you're going to do a lot of rearranging, but wood is also something I have way too much of in my crates, so I'm not really losing out by moving it. Oops. And we haven't even finished harvesting whatever's in this depot. I don't even care where this stuff goes. It's just going so it's out of the way. And I can deal with it later. Unfortunately, for some reason they don't let you move crates that are on a crate stacker. You have to move them to a different crate stacker, which means you have to build another crate stacker. Like, it doesn't just let me relocate this because it has stuff on it, which is dumb and a pain in the ass. But I guess I can move this. It's just, you know, it's a waste of wood because you have to pay the wood to move these off, then pay the wood to move this thing, then pay more wood to move them onto this thing again. Which I'm not going to do, actually. I'm just going to leave them on the ground and hope they're out of the way back there. But yeah, I'm excited to see if the train is actually any better than the tram, or if it's just decorative, basically, because I'm hoping it can go faster. And that's really all it can do, I guess, is go faster. This is going to be such a nightmare to rearrange. Why didn't that place? Oh, because I hit G and not click. I'm going to run out of wood doing this. Thankfully, I don't need wood to place the engine, though I might need it to feed the engine until I can make some coal. Maybe I can just throw the whole lump in, though. That would be nice. All right. Everything has been moved out of your way, train. Are you happy now? Will you let me build the engine? I would like to have enough materials left to build another platform, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. I have to waste it all. Build a module. Build a train. Oh, I saw green for a second. Yeah, there we go. That's a fucking train. The Voidtrain is here. Voidtram is gone. I don't know what I can do with this. It looks like it's incomplete. I also am going to need to build a new brake. Thankfully, these don't seem to cost anything. Okay, where do I want to put these? Because I want them kind of, like, easily accessible from the air, because you can actually shoot these to activate them. So I'm going to put it here. That was interesting, because you could actually have multiples of these, like at the front and back of your train or whatever. You can just only have... Well, I was going to say only have one per car, but I guess that's not the case. And then we build a brake. Also going to want this visible. Okay, we've done it. We've done the main objective, and now we're going to use it, I guess. I really don't know what's with this cage here. It's not like steam engines are high technology for this game's time period of 1945. All right, what do we got? We got a transmission handle. Okay, that probably controls the direction, meaning that I didn't need these at all. Okay, yes, there is a brake, so I'm guessing that this brake doesn't do anything, right? Nope. Okay. Well. That was probably not the best way to test that out. But whatever. Fucking mistakes were made. But that's how you learn. So there's this water beadon here, which I unlocked a while ago, but I don't actually know where to build it. I have not seen a station that would let me build it. We have giant arrows again, or spear. I think that one's a spear. The arrows were a little shorter. But yeah, these places do kind of seem like the battlefield of the gods. Oh, there's some coal to replace all the coal I just left behind. I can't believe. We moved all that stuff and dumped it. And we didn't even finish searching the place either. I think that was the transmission I hit. Well, mistakes were made, but that just means that we're going to have to get to the next depot as soon as possible, which means I'm going to crank up the speed, I think. We're not stopping for anything. Also, I've, like, not really been repairing anything. It doesn't seem to matter. I don't know if it just repairs over time, but, like, I've never had anything break on me. And it definitely seems like shooting your train does not damage it. Also, you see how the reach the next depot objective has not gone away yet? I don't think he dropped anything. But yeah, look at this. It's a train. It still doesn't look like the train on the screenshots, which I think takes up the whole car instead of just sitting in the middle, but it's not a tram anymore. I don't know why these guys are so hard to hit even when they're right in front of you. I think it's because they wiggle. He didn't drop anything, except he did. It was just where I couldn't see it. I'm not picking up any more leather because I have too much, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of things that use it. These guys are the ones I was talking about that can potentially drop fat, but it's not very common that they actually do. Also a little hard to hit. Okay, full ahead. We've dealt with the shark problem. I don't know where anything goes anymore. You would think you would make it from here, but you can see it's not here. So I'm guessing we can't actually hit our max speed without having both of those full. But I'm glad that the train can still trundle along without that. Let's see what we can scoop up on the way. Now we just have to slap some spider legs on here and draw a face on this, and we'll have ourselves a Choo Choo Charles. Which is a much better way to travel the void. Yeah! Now that is a train whistle. I'm not sure why you can examine that, but also... Oh, that's Afterburner, this switch. I thought that was just the switch I was opening this with. So we're at slow right now. We don't seem to be going. There we go. For some reason the range on this grappling hook seems a lot shorter. Oh wow, yeah, it really cooks. Seems a lot shorter when you're not actually floating. I still hope there's a more efficient way to gather resources than even this grappling hook later on. Yeah, I think we already burned through our resources. Definitely got a parasite. Or there's a yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's just leather. So I do think this game is cool so far. I've been enjoying my time with it. I mean, I ended up playing like 4 hours straight this morning before I went to sleep, and did not really notice the time going by. But, like I said, it does also feel a little grindy when you're doing that. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Put all the dirty ice in. Put all the wood in. You can still only do stacks of 5, though, which is annoying. Like, I'm hoping eventually I will unlock the research tier of getting to stack things in more efficient stacks. Because this is one of those survival games that seems to use inventory limits as a kind of hard difficulty cap. Like, some survival games are much less restrictive about just how much you can carry, even if you still have inventory limits. Oh, I think we're already almost there. No, the music's a little too calm. We're not quite there yet. But we're moving at a good speed. A lot faster than my tram. So yeah, if I see a witch island in this zone, we're just going to skip over it. They just take a little too long to feel like they're worth doing every time. At least until I'm more established. Okay. I think anytime you see these things around, it means there's one of these barrier nest things. I do love the fluidity, though, of being able to just run up to the side and jump off, and you automatically hook on. Feels like you're very nimble around your machinery. Also, another thing I crafted was this leather suit, and all this seems to do is let you slap in armor plates, which will fill up the blue bar around your health. And I think that just reduces damage, and that's it. Like, that's the only point of building the leather suit. And then when you build, I guess, better armor later, you can put more plates in it. And this beast is hungry. But I think coal will burn more efficiently and for longer in here than using wood. Oh, I never did pick up that coal when we were fighting the shark, did we? Doesn't matter, because I can't process it right now anyway. And I don't even have this space to build the machine to process it until I can extend my car out. Well, at least I have a use for all this ice now. It used to be that I would end up with too much of it. Still can't really jump off the front of your train, though. But much like Raft, I think it also isn't a big deal when you pass by resources, because there's always going to be more. It's not like you're super limited on how many resources you have available. Sometimes I just take random damage like that, and I don't know what it's from. It's like I bumped across one of these rocks a little too hard. Dang old parasites. At least now it makes slightly more sense that they're getting something out of latching on if they're going for the steam vents. I bet if I make a water container, this will actually go faster. Oh no, wait, I can. It only takes water bidons, which I don't know where to make those. It's not at the lab. It's probably not at the forge. It doesn't seem to be at the workbench. So I don't know where the fuck to make it. Like, those are all of my crafting stations. I do need a better source of wood, though, than just whatever's floating. Like, you know, eventually in Raft, you can start cutting down trees on the islands to much more quickly grab a bunch of wood. Nothing. Not even worth killing. But yeah, so far this game doesn't seem like it'll ever let you chop down trees for wood. Maybe you can start growing trees, since you do have grow plots. The only thing I found for my grow plot so far is tomato seeds. And it says to cook the tomatoes to get the best out of them, but I don't have a tomato recipe yet, so they're kind of pointless to grow, and you don't get any seeds back. So I've just like grown tomatoes, eaten them, and then that was it. That was the end of them. Probably should have saved them, but I'm sure I'll find more. Watch out, citizens of the Void, I'm coming through. Having to feed wood into this thing constantly, though, does kind of dramatically reduce the amount of wood I have available for crafting metal and stuff. I want to get onto that coal system as soon as possible. Still no fat. See what I mean about how limited fat is? Like, it's not really something you can choose to grind because there's almost nothing that drops it. And nothing that drops it with reliability. That's just ice. We don't need that right now. I guess, though, the purpose of that ice is the same as the coal blocks, which is to feed it into your loco. Leather. But speaking of that Choo Choo Charles game, I am actually surprisingly looking forward to it quite a bit. Especially because the dev seems pretty down to earth, and he's been very, like, honest about things he didn't know how to do that he's learning to do as he's coding the game. He's like, so I added this feature, and it broke everything, and so I just had to completely redo it from ground up in 48 hours. I don't know. I think those devlogs, if you haven't seen them, are actually really funny and worth checking out. So they do spoil, I guess, what's going to be in the game, to some degree. Can't really have a devlog that doesn't. Like, just imagine a devlog that tries to keep everything secret, where it's like, so I added this feature, and it didn't work, and that wasn't great. And, like, that's the whole devlog. I can't tell you what it is, but I assure you it's probably cool if it works, but it doesn't work. Okay, there's some coal. Can I actually grab it this time? Oh, I did grab the last one. I just didn't put it down. Oh, it's going too fast. Gotta start stockpiling coal again. Can I really just not throw this thing in the engine? Coal briquette, coal chunk. Yeah, I know. Just gonna have to save it. Alright, I'm hoping we're almost at the next depot, because we've been going for a while. Like, these things are not close together. Take us out, steady as she goes. There's a witch island over there, but I am not interested. I'm only interested in fixing my horribly messy train now. Can worry about Raffly Mo treasure later. very stressful game, though. Like, as survival games go, the actual survival stuff is pretty low-key. Like, I didn't even remember that I had a food and water meter for a bit there. Wow, I have a lot of metal. See, but I've been using all my wood for the engine, so this metal is just piling up now. Which is why I hope there's a better source of wood. Though I guess I can use coal for the smelting as well, if I wanted to. I wonder if the further in this game you get, the bigger these void spaces are before you hit the next depot. Like the farther apart they are. Oh, we got another blocker up ahead. God, this gun is not accurate, or it has a limited range. Because the barrel upgrades increase your max range, so I guess it does have a maximum effective range. It also seems to have bullet drop, which I wouldn't expect in a place where that literally doesn't have fucking gravity. That seems a little silly. Bullets always travel in a natural arc, no matter their environment. It is simply their nature. Alright, I gotta start doing something with my inventory. Okay, grease goes in one of these boxes. This one, for now. I can go in there. Huck another stack in there to get rid of 2 piles. Where'd my chemistry table end up? Hold on. Gotta find my chemicals. What an absolute mess. We need at least 2 grease in order to make the parts to expand the train. How are we still not out of here yet? Maybe the train's not actually that much faster after all. No, that's just meat. I guess we could use that. There's been a shortage of wood, it seems, in this particular section of Void. There's been an absolute shit ton of metal, and not a whole lot of wood. Some more ice. I guess we'll take an ice. Since once I have coal, I'm still going to need an equivalent amount of water. Also, it doesn't really matter when you clutter it up like this with those things, because, you know, you can just float over them. Nothing really blocks your path that much. I suppose that won't be the case if I put walls on this. I think we're almost there. Behind this fog bank. I do wonder sometimes if people are annoyed when I do like follow-up videos like this for a game that I checked out recently. But like, I don't know. It's not like we saw everything in the first impression. Sometimes there's a little more depth that I want to explore and show people if I find it interesting. If I don't find it interesting, then I probably wouldn't be doing a follow-up video now, would I? But like this game especially, I want to uninstall this because it is like 25 gigs on my good SSD that's running out of space again. Well, it's perpetually out of space, but I mean that I want to shuffle stuff around and install other stuff. I kind of do this stupid metagame of constantly installing enough games to fill up all of my game drives, and then I don't actually play them. So I end up uninstalling a bunch of them to install other ones that will also sit there for about a month before I then uninstall them to install something else. And it's always just like, oh yeah, you know, I kind of feel like revisiting that game, or oh, I should probably actually give this thing a try now. And it happens so frequently that I know I'm not going to play them when I'm installing them, but I do it anyway, because I feel like I might. That also applies to games I just like to do videos on. I'm like, you know, it'd be cool to do a video on this, so let me install it, and then 6 months later, when I still haven't done a video, uninstall it. At any given time, I have... Why did we stop? I don't know what turned the brake on there. At any given time, I have more than 2 terabytes of games installed. You know, at least a couple hundred. Though these days, games are getting a lot bigger. You can have a lot less of them installed in a terabyte drive when it's like between 90 and 150 gigs. I mean, isn't Call of Duty Warzone or whatever like 200 gigs now? Or something ridiculous like that? It's like, yeah, it might be a free game or a free-to-play game, but you have to buy the hard drive as one of your optional purchases. Okay, my food's running low, my water's running low. I do have water in one of these chests. Nope. It loaded in a new segment. Nope. We got Nazis. They don't really look like Nazis. And despite the fact that they are very blatantly described as being Nazis, there is no swastikas around anywhere. They are conspicuously absent, despite all the other Nazi propaganda. So yeah, these guys can drop gun parts like that. They can also drop tokens to buy gun parts. Ooh, this guy's got a machine gun, I think. Might be able to take that. He dropped something big. So there's not really a lot of complexity to the combat. Also, there's no hit sound for the melee. There's another passenger. I guess every single one that's a different color gives you different blueprints. Or at least that's the understanding I've been given. Rescue him. Find the rest of the boys. Try to pick up stuff that I don't have room for. Hello? I'm looking for the Führer's men. Have you seen any? Also, even though it's not a combat-heavy game, they have added like a lean, which is a little weird looking. What's this? Balanced frame stability. I honestly don't know if you're supposed to use specific parts with specific other parts, or you could use any parts as long as you have enough of them to assemble a gun. Because some of them have, like, names next to them, which make me think they belong to a specific gun. But those could also be, like, set names. Like, these parts are better when you combine them together. Also, if they can't find you, they seem to just start shooting your train. I like how these guys are just wearing, like, metal vests. Oh, there's a lot of them in this depot. It's more effective than just shooting them. So in here there's bullet drop, and that makes sense, but out in the void it doesn't. I mean, even without armor, these guys don't really do that much damage per shot. I think I'm just hitting his head armor. Alright. You cannot shoot through railings. Melee is also super terrible. It never seems to trigger when you want it to. Like, there's nobody around, I can just keep mashing it. If I'm about to go up and hit someone, it's like, no, I'm not gonna activate. These guys are like fucking steel. But it seems like if you shoot any of their fleshy parts, it counts as a good hit. Excuse me? Where did he go? Alright, are we done? No more Nazis jumping on the bed? The music will sometimes fade out even if they are, in fact, still more Nazis, but they're not close to you. And then it'll suddenly, like, spike back in if you run into somebody. Okay, well, that is combat with humans in this game. Don't know if it's ever going to change, if there's going to be different types of Nazi soldiers. Me, though. I guess normally you have a hat, which doesn't show up in the void. Oh, yep, there is, in fact, still a Nazi over here. It's so weird that you could just, like, fly around in this. My Nazi sense tells me there's a man over here. Declare yourself. He may have shot first, but he didn't shoot as well. Okay, there's a token, there's some bullets. So this is all stuff I'm going to pick up later, because I think we're going to wrap up in a moment. But, you know, we built our steam engine, we became a Voidtrain for real. And we went to a witch island, collected our witch treasure, met a new Rafflemo, and had to crush everything into a horrible little platform. So I think that is a successful episode. Oh, and we killed some Nazis, if I didn't already say that. But if I did already say that, I'm going to say it again, because it's worth repeating. But yeah, this is Voidtrain. After you've made a little progress and started to build these various systems, I think it's cool. I do hope there's more complexity added later on, because what is here is very polished. It's just, it feels like there's not a lot of it at any given time. I mean, mechanically, if you look at the research table here, you can see I can start casting brass, I can extract zinc, and I can make a better smelter so I can make steel bars. So the tech tree continues on, and I think having a few of those at a time does really give you something to focus on. Because you're like, okay, these are the materials I need to get so that I can advance the tech tree and then see what else is next. So it's better than just having like a research anything and eventually you'll end up with the thing you want. But thank you for joining me for this return to Voidtrain. I don't think we're going to be seeing it again anytime soon because, I mean, I think I've seen all the mechanics that are in the game right now. But maybe in the future, once it's further along on its early access ride, we'll check back in with the Void. Until then, y'all take care.